This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. And this is the only show you're going to find anywhere in Omaha that talks about what we discuss, and that is making Omaha bigger, more vibrant, more prosperous. We talk about construction, real estate development. We just talk about good things in the community in general as well. Great show planned as always. And before we get into that great show, I want to introduce my co-host, a legendary real estate deal maker in the flesh and all-around interesting fellow from NAI NP Dodge, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning. It is the middle of summer. It is hot and humid out there. And I have this theory about the way the year goes. And here in Omaha, as soon as the College World Series ends, which it did last Sunday, the rest of the year goes... the years now that the College World Series.
How does it go?
Now that the College World Series is over, the year is over. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be Christmas and New Year's before you know it.
We're halfway through this year. It's crazy.
I know. Are your goals halfway done?
Oh, at least 60%.
Yeah, me too. And with that, we'll go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Holly Schneiderwind and her team over at Eagle Mortgage do an outstanding job. You know, buying a house is a big deal. For most people, it's the most expensive thing you ever purchase, and you want to make sure you get it right. If you go meet with Holly or one of her outstanding mortgage brokers, they'll listen to you, figure out what you need, and keep in mind they are not a bank, they are mortgage brokers, which means they shop the market and pick the best bank for you. They're not beholden to any one of them. Conventional, FHA, VA, they do all of it. Give them a shout. You can stop by the office, 114th and Davenport, or go online, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Trenton, we had a groundbreaking earlier this week. Metropolitan Community College is going to build the Sarpy County campus. It'll be southeast of 144th and Highway 370. Not a small campus. It'll be 144 acres. This will be the college's fourth full-service campus, but the first one they've built since 1980. So why did they choose that location? Well, there's a lot of growth in Sarpy County. The other thing to keep in mind as a community college, they serve businesses and the need for businesses, a lot of employment around there.
So that location, 144th, Highway 50, and Highway 370, prime, it's even better now, but they got it right at the right time. There's a number of people looking at it. Do you remember who they bought it from?
I don't.
I think it was Union Pacific.
Oh, didn't Union Pacific, though, own the land where Google is? I think Union Pacific owned the land where Google is currently located, if I remember correctly. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll verify that, ladies and gentlemen. But
if I remember correctly, UP was going to do some sort of data center and warehousing and stuff like that out there.
But land prices, when all the big... So what do you think? They've owned it for 10 years, maybe?
It's been a long time, yeah. But I mean, and kudos to them. I mean, they're trying to think ahead and really, find the perfect spot for them.
Well, the Amazon distribution center, a church owned that land.
King of Kings Lutheran Church.
King of Kings, Our Lady of I-80, and affectionately.
No, Our Lady of I-6, or are you thinking of Our Lady of I-680?
No, this is Our Lady of I-80. The one in Old Mill is Our Lady of 680.
I-680, okay. Yeah, we Catholic kids growing up always called Christ Community Church Our Lady of I-680, but I didn't know King of Kings was Our Lady of I-80.
Affectionately.
Back to the news.
So, but they made a fortune. They were going to build a huge church, and they ended up selling it in a couple different tranches, and good for them. It's God's money.
Well, with that, we have some other exciting news. Heritage Omaha is the group that has made so many things possible philanthropically in our community. They are currently teamed up with Project for Public Spaces, working on Omaha's first year-round indoor permanent public market. And we know this is going to be at the riverfront. They have been conducting surveys, gathering public input as to what this market should look like, what should be in it. They've also had meetings with would-be vendors who would be tenants inside this public market. Well, Thursday night, They had the general public and a lot of downtown enthusiasts and community people showed up for this thing. And it was very interesting, as I've been told. Our nonprofit writer, Mark Champion, was there. And the big news is that they revealed what you and I kind of already pretty much knew, but it's been confirmed. The actual site would be southeast of, what is this?
8th and
Farnham. And so right to the west of this site would be the relatively new Brickline Apartments. Right to the north of this site would be the Skate Ribbon, part of Heartland of America Park. And to the east would be the lake. And I'm told that the idea that the organizers have for this would be to make it very architecturally impressive.
But it's got to be vertical. Don't they want... Do we know if this is going to be a for-profit or not-for-profit?
It'll be a non-profit public market. Now, the vertical part would...
People will pay to be vendors in there, obviously.
Sure, but the organization be non-profit, as they often are. And we've talked about this in other shows in the past, but there are great public markets in America, like Philadelphia's Reading Terminal, Pike Place in Seattle. I love the one in Milwaukee because I think it's sized right for Omaha. But what I'm hearing is that this would be a very impressive building architecturally. You bring up the verticality, if that's a word.
Condos or apartments.
Which would be for profit. So, but we don't know for sure if there's going to be anything on top of it, although you and I both hope there is.
I'm told it's about 15,000 feet. So it's not, it's a little bit bigger than maybe than a Walgreens or a CVS.
And you, for a public market in that space, could have a hell of a lot of vendors.
So imagine a butcher shop, meat counter, that kind of stuff, seafood, small restaurants.
It's the old market.
Arts and crafts.
It's the farmer's market indoors.
Yeah, year round. And they got the parking garage there at the Brickline / what's the name of the Mercantile?
Mm-hmm. The Mercantile is the overall name of the district that is the north part of the ConAgra campus.
And so this is overlooking Heartland of America Park.
Correct. Overlooking the lake. It's kind of it almost looks like a little bit of a peninsula that sticks out into the lake, if you will.
I haven't looked it up, but it's either owned by Heinz, who has the Brookline, or ConAgra still.
Heinz is the developer that's doing the Mercantile, or at least they have been. And then ConAgra has been the owner until they sell off pieces of land. Well, we have an interesting little statistic that might give us insight into the Omaha economy, the Omaha culture, and the local housing market. The Omaha metro area experienced a 53% increase in renters, people who rent their homes at age 65 or over. This is from 2013 to 2023. This is part of a study by Point Two Homes that analyzed the 75 most populous U.S. metro areas. So Omaha's growth of renters age 65 and over of 53%. Are you ready for this, Trenton?
Yep.
Nearly double the national average of 29.4%. And when you look at just single-family houses, renting single-family houses as opposed to apartments or anything like that, Omaha had the #1 biggest increase in renters age 65. So
what do we make of that?
That's my question. I guess I'll give my first stab at it, and I'm curious what you think. My first reaction is negative because in general, I certainly like the idea of people in their older years owning property. And so part of me doesn't like to see this. I suppose if there's one positive I could take out, it means that real estate values are increasing and population is increasing. But I don't know. I'm a little concerned by it.
I think so. When people graduate from college, we have a more transient population now of all ages, I think. And so when people aren't, they don't have to sell their house. They're not sitting down roots as much as ownership. And I know it's a trend. I know people can work everywhere, and we all know people that love to travel 6 months in Thailand and 6 months in South America, whatever. And
so Trenton wants to spend 6 months in Thailand. Go ahead. What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're good. So I think that it's going to change cities. and it already has.
Yeah, and if some of this is because people want flexibility in life and mobility in life, great. I applaud that. If some of it is because we're a growing market and you hate to see people's rent go up, but it's a sign of a healthy market, that's good. But to have double the national average and be number one in the country, it means that maybe prices are growing so fast.
I wonder what the statistics are for the length of occupancy in rental houses and rental apartments, and the length of stay people own a house.
Good question. Well, Trenton, let's finish this news segment by talking about Come and Go. We know that most of those gas stations are converting to Maverick, which is the Salt Lake City company, which purchased Iowa-based Come and Go about 2 years ago for about $2 billion. But the problem is apparently there were 3 that they didn't want or couldn't have, or who knows what the case is. So Omaha-based Megasaver has completed the acquisition of 3 of these Come and Goes, 144th and Q, 192nd and West Center Road, and 168th and Cornhusker Road.
Yeah, they're definitely growing as well. And if you find the conversation at Grow Omaha Facebook page, people have always made fun of the name Come and Go Out for obvious reasons. And if not, Jeff will explain it right now. But people gave their take on what the name should have been or could have been. What was your favorite?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that and just say there's an old saying in U.S. history that says a chicken in every pot and a Megasaver on every corner.
The one I didn't get was that somebody said nut and bolt.
And with that, we've got your news of the week brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take our first break of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to bring on Jay Lund. He is with Greenslate Development. Played a key role in Midtown Development, Blackstone area, but we're going to talk about the Catalyst, a very cool project on the Edge District part of the University of Nebraska Medical Center campus. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha. It's brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Grow Omaha fans.
I had to go there, huh?
Yeah.
My job
Between that and Thailand.
You had to go.
My job is to get. At least I didn't say I'm going to take a bunch of $20 bills with me. So
We're off to a roaring start.
$1 bills.
If some people don't spit up coffee all over their car, I haven't done my job.
I don't know if it's spitting up coffee or vomiting the coffee that they have.
So, but if you go to our Facebook page, the obvious one was always ejaculate and evacuate. That was always a good one. Came and went
this weekend.
What's up?
And you just got some work this weekend.
It's okay for Uncut, I think.
Nut and bolt. I hadn't heard that before. Have you ever heard that before? That's fucking great.
We don't have the FCC regulations. God. My work would be a hell of a lot more challenging if we did.
Yeah, you'd have a lot of.
Has your dad been on the barroom floor? I don't think he has. So,
Are you going to rub that in?
no.
What is that? Is that the up on the
This thing.
at the press club?
You've been there.
You shouldn't have asked him. 'Cause-
All that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Scooch in a bit more.
Yeah, you.
So, I live to be your dad's roast.
there you go.
So you got to nominate
Real
for
close
something.
when you talk about it.
But we could, or you guys could do it together. But I want to be a roaster.
You got to do it. I can kind of be the.
You're the
I'll
one
play
too.
the straight man.
You can be.
You're the color.
You want to do a father and son one?
You going to broker it?
So that's.
You would think with
Oh yeah, you guys are just
you'd be
on.
on his best behavior.
We'll be there in September.
I know, you'd
Well,
think
actually,
you
on the
would-
actual
you'd be
floor.
thinking you'd want to try to impress
because
Scott.
the next
You would
one's not
think.
till like September
I
25th.
heard he's vying for
Yeah.
his own show.
But he was one of the roasters.
You can do
He did
mornings.
5 minutes.
That's great.
Introduced
What's
me.
going
Or
on?
talk about him.
Yeah.
And then
Time for saddle
but he was really
wire.
describing Jared
He's
himself.
outlived his usefulness.
It's going to be Trenton.
Yeah, bounce him out of there.
It was just stellar. And
Gary had a good run.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
No, but he did such a great job.
Okay.
It's Gary.
So that's stays there.
Well, once we tell him that
but
it's
not
going to be
all of them
Trent
are
Hill,
But is it the press club?
that's a good.
Yeah.
Knowing the fact that his
Yeah.
replacement as Trenton may cause Gary to
But they go
avoid
on the floor
retirement
and
for
the
another
wall.
10 years.
It's good we're having us on Uncut before or after
There's
your
182nd.
your roast.
Yeah.
And then you're there till the next one on the floor, so people can walk out here. And then they're hung on them. Some are permanent and some rotate. So hopefully we get on there for a while.
The local company that produces stunning and
But your dad is
Poor
definitely
Jay.
Yeah.
Now he's going to get the video. Now he's going to get the video emailed to him, and all of your pictures.
He's on the list now.
Gary Settlemeyer.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be.
Perfect.
Yep.
Gary Settlemeyer was the roastmaster general.
But the best roaster was Scott.
Yes.
No.
You were.
I got
And then
it.
him.
Here we go.
Make KFAB the #1 preset on our free, new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. News Radio 1110 KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. No restaurant review from Chris Corey this week because they're every other week, and you had one last week. So be patient. It'll be back next week. Now, Chris is here in the studio, and he won't tell us what it's going to be next week, so we have to wait until it is published. But we are going to go into our interview that we have scheduled this week. We've invited Jay Lund. He is the head of Greenslate Development, which has been responsible for so many projects in the Blackstone and Midtown areas. And today we're going to start off talking to Jay about a very exciting project that just was completed. It's the renovation of the 100-plus-year-old steel factory west of University of Nebraska Medical Center, now called Catalyst. Jay, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, I think you've been on, 5 or 6 times. Your dad, John Lund, has never been on the show.
Yeah, I lost track. I'm not sure how many times I've been. I thought he'd been on before.
Jason Fisher's been on there. Pretty much we're trying to have everybody but our friend John Lund who's listening.
Thanks, Trenton. And so let's get into our conversation about the Catalyst. Jay, this is part of what the University of Nebraska Medical Center and you guys are calling the Edge District. We'll talk about that in a moment. But kind of give us the 30,000-foot view of the Catalyst.
Yeah, it's a project that I've been working on in one way or another, I think about, almost 10 years, just kind of looking at that overall site. I'm sure you guys have kind of been tracking it.
Not an easy site.
No. I mean, I remember when I first got into the business over 20 years ago, actually touring the building when they were still casting, steel molds in there. And I think it was Jim Maynor had, his whole analysis of the valuation and this and that. So it's been trying to be assembled for a long time. Back in 2016, we were a part of a master planning exercise. About 4 years ago, there was an RFP that went out to say, hey, what could this be? And it was an old building that actually different folks along the way had wanted to tear down multiple times. And I had encouraged them to see what it could be if it was saved. Long story short, we ended up partnering with some folks out of Denver, Coble and Company. They had built a building in the Rhino neighborhood called Catalyst. This was about 8 years ago. And it's an office building at the end of the day, but it's really much more than that. It's a community. Theirs was specifically based around, their anchor was UC Health. And then they created this community around all these innovators and folks that wanted to be under the same roof with one another.
So the crane is still in there, one of the cranes, and what is it, 100 and something years old?
The building itself was built over so many different decades that the crane, I think we date the crane back, that particular crane that we kept, it's a 20-ton gantry train that we left in place, we think is like from the 40s or 50s.
And what's the square footage of this?
It's 170,000 square feet.
And so it's called the Catalyst, and there are several UNMC-related functions in there. A coffee shop, Big Grove Brewery coming very soon, right?
Yeah. So first of all, you have to see it to believe it, right? So there's a lot of cool office buildings in Omaha, but this is just very unique. And the fact that it was a 100-year-old steel plant and a lot of that old architecture was reclaimed, but surrounded by new architecture. So the coffee shop's open. That's public, so you can come into. You don't have to have an appointment or be invited to come see the building. You can go get a coffee. I think they're open Monday through Friday right now. The brewery itself is scheduled to open, I believe, the first week of August, and that'll also be Public. They're the same group that's running the coffee shop. So Big Grove's out of Des Moines. Big restaurant, Chris, you'll have to get in there at some point. 11,000 square foot restaurant, a 6,500 square foot patio. If you haven't seen their beers in the grocery store, if you haven't seen pictures of their other breweries in Des Moines and Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, you have to check it out.
So the Catalyst is not just medical; it's an office building with heavy medical related adjacent type of businesses. Give us an idea of the mix.
Yeah, so that's actually a little bit of a misnomer. There is no medical functions in the building. It's just UNMC. So there's it's general office. The med center occupies about 30% of the building, and then we have the rest. Something that's incredibly unique about the building is that close to 50% of the space in the building is common area. So folks in the real estate business would kind of refer to that as like a load factor on what you would pay rent on. We don't charge a 50% load factor, but the tenants get the benefit of that. So we share the building with the med center. And then just real quickly, the concept is everything from a $350 a month desk to $1,000 a month private office, and then up from there. So all the way up to up to 10,000 square foot office spaces, and that's really the kind of the unique factor is you can come in and rent a desk for $350 or $1,000 a month, and you really have the benefit of this world-class facility with all these common areas. And really, the biggest point is that you're running into people when you are filling your coffee or you're getting
collaborative
free kombucha on tap, and we call it serendipitous collisions.
There you go.
I like that term. So the $350 a month desk is co-working space, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there's multiple co-working areas that are mixed into the building.
And the UNMC functions that are in there, correct me if I'm wrong, these are the groups that take UNMC research and technology and privatize it?
That's UNIMED, and they just moved in a few weeks ago. The other spaces that the Med Center have in the building are sort of their final users are to be determined.
So it's part of the Edge District. That's the name now for the UNMC campus west of Saddle Creek Road. The core building is under construction there, looking great. But Jay, there's a lot more planned for that district. I don't know what else in that district you would be involved in versus the Med Center, but what else do you see happening around the Catalyst maybe in the next couple of years?
Yeah, so it's about 25, 30 acres if you look at from Dodge to Leavenworth. It's sort of a triangular
Is this
shape.
all west of Saddle Creek, or is this
Correct?
Okay.
Yes, all west of Saddle Creek, and then 48th Street on the west is sort of the western border of the Edge, literally. We're also just about to bring online a new parking garage that is a City of Omaha parking garage that is directly across from the Catalyst. So 750 stall garage set to open almost at the exact same time as Big Grove Brewery. So that'll be nice. I think that's going to be when Big Grove Brewery opens and the garage opens. Those are all public things that for the first time, I think the public is going to be interacting with that part of campus that they never have before. So that garage will, I think, ultimately get wrapped similar to the Mercantile. I think you could see hotels. I think you could see a lot of things.
All right, we're going to take our middle of the show break for the news, but when we come back, more with Jay Lund, head of Greenslate Development. We're going to talk about some other issues related to Blackstone Midtown and a very impressive project on the site of the old WOWT television studio. So stay with us. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
So the JP Lord site, is
Sorry,
that...
it's kind of hard to condense.
No,
that
you got
for
it,
me.
you got it. No, I think I understand. It's clear. It's clear. So JP Lord School, what's the other thing that was there?
Monroe Meyer Institute.
So I saw them like either they're testing or there's something. Is that the one that's supposed to be like 20-something stories?
Yeah, that's where it's going to be. They've been doing all sorts of drilling. Yeah.
That's on the east side of Saddle Creek,
Right.
so that's the Project Health.
What's
That's the $2 billion
next-
hospital.
What's the? Is that the next? What we call it the next, or is it?
It was called Next at one point. I think it was called Project.
Did the government ever finance it? Homeland Security and DO?
No, that part's separate.
It's a $2+ billion stack that I'm told they have well over half accounted for, maybe 3/4.
And we're still the first city.
Yeah. What's that?
We're still the first city.
I don't know that
a lot of that
we're
stuff's separate from this.
competing, and this is a new hospital. This is to replace Clarkson Hospital.
This is the stuff you're talking about, Tone. Is we were preliminarily designated as one of 5 centers, but that still has not, to the best of my knowledge, been funded. That's a separate deal down the road.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
And the new
it may
administration
be,
is cutting a lot of things, so it might not even happen.
Yeah.
So this is the hospital.
but
Although it'll have a biocontainment unit in it, I believe.
it will.
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, they've got every single building assembled now except for the Ace Rentone.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It fucking sticks out there.
Yeah.
Like that's not. Is their demographic the medical community? I mean,
I don't know.
just-
I mean, they're
just
just, it's one way in, one way out.
Well, you're good on them for being tough, because
Yeah.
they're only going to get more money as time goes on.
So your dad says, never mention Vanita. Now that I have sold my company, maybe I can get on the show. Sure you have heard. My response, I don't think so. He's got a heart.
Oh, that's too good.
What was the restaurant you were saying?
At
The best
Catalyst
chance you
Big
have
Grove
of getting on the
Brewery.
show is
So
if I get to be a roaster
Yeah.
at your
They've got 3 of
face
them in
on the
Iowa.
barroom floor.
Catalyst.
It's at Catalyst Big Grove Brewery. Yeah, they're not open yet.
Okay.
They're
But they're coming.
August.
Celebration.
I hear the food's
Question mark.
Food's
really
great.
good.
The thing that I'm most excited about for it is that it's family friendly.
Because
So,
you
like-
have to be over 21.
Well, just they have real estate. Like like it's hard to bring your family to Blackstone, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
strollers
Sure, you
and dogs and
Yeah,
Done that by now.
yeah.
young families.
Because it's tight. It's dense.
tight.
Yeah.
You park and sidewalks
Yeah.
are this big. And
Whereas this was
this
designed
is
with a lot
and
of
I hope
space. And,
my vision is that you see people walking from down from Dundee and Morton Meadows, and it's the
probably will.
young families with 2 kids and a dog, and they'll have a couple
think you
beers,
will.
and yeah, I think it'll be cool.
And then you're that pedestrian bridge is going to be a big asset
Huge.
for the Catalyst.
Yeah.
Massive.
Across Saddle Creek.
Yeah.
Doesn't that start?
Well,
Is it
I
next
think
year?
they have the there's an RFP out for
Oh, okay.
engineering and
Okay, so it's still a little ways out.
stuff like that. It's mostly funded, I thought. I mean,
Okay.
Don Bacon's office.
He just announced his
I know, I
retirement.
saw that.
So I followed up with your dad. I said, the best chance you have of getting on the show is if I get to be a roaster at your Face on the Barroom Floor celebration, ? I thought for sure you would have done that by now.
You guys have been going at it for about 25 years now.
Pretty much, yeah.
10 KFAB Weather Watch. Nice warm day ahead.
Every hero needs a villain.
Oh my God.
And a little bit breezy.
Shelley Anderson, Ray Anderson Jr.'s wife,
Chance of showers and thunderstorms.
she wrote to me, nut and bolt, I'm dying. And she has like 5 laughing at me.
Why does she encourage him?
I'm making sure,
Who said?
I'll make sure and
Anderson's
relay
wife.
that to Ray. He's biking now.
Athletics Omaha. Do you have an athlete at home that wants to start or improve their tumbling skills? What
You
about
are awesome,
taking set
exclamation
skills
point.
to the next
Really,
level? We have the best
it's my fault because I brought it up. I could have just left. I could have just left it off of the news, and it never would have happened.
We offer novice,
You could have moved on when he
national
asked you,
teams,
Chef, what's your
and
favorite comment?
teams in the
So moving on.
Because he always says,
You
moving
could have
on.
closed the door completely.
Yeah.
So
Champions are made.
has
good- it's good
Nebraska
radio.
medicine, when
It's right.
you
What's
talk
that?
about the campus, you usually say Nebraska medicine.
I say the men's center,
He's something.
but that's
That's why he's
just.
vying for someone's job.
Yeah.
I was at,
I say either
hold
UMC
my
or the
breath.
men's center. I know they want to go by Nebraska medicine, but
and Linder's like has like a couple days left maybe.
Now he's done, I think. Now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he was
Or
at
maybe
the
Monday's the
chamber board meeting the other day.
Are you on the chamber board?
Yeah.
I think Ash starts Monday.
Who's the? You want to be the president of the chamber board?
Do I?
Yeah. Who was it now?
Not anytime soon. They have people announced all the way through.
You mean the
O's,
chairman?
Yeah,
27, 28.
Because the president is Heath.
Yeah.
It's Carmen Tapio,
Still?
and then it'll be Paul West, and I think it'll be Dave Coda and someone else.
Is it 1 year or 2 years?
Don't know.
It's whatever you're.
2 probably.
I think the chair is a 1 year unless you're. You do it.
I think
you get
Carmen
chosen
stayed
twice.
on
Yeah.
longer
She's done that a long
to
time.
get through the transition.
But historically and traditionally, it was always 1 year for a chair, and then. But
Yeah.
that was an exception for various reasons.
To get, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're listening to yourself.
And I'm loving it.
Can you just hear the?
Stephanie wants to see a good movie.
Yeah.
F1.
Really?
Is it good?
Wait, that's our car racing?
Here we go.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, right?
Great film.
I'm a big car racing guy.
It's a good movie.
Just getting started. This is today's News Radio 1110.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. They are located near Highways 50 and 370 in Papillion, and a great way to get your kid or grandkid involved in something special that will make them a better person. We're also brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. They have 4 metro area locations, famous for their body work on your cars, Best of Omaha award winner, but they do have some mechanical service as well that are absolutely outstanding. Well, it's time for our Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, in which we talk about projects in or around one of Noddle Company's many projects in the local area. Noddle Company's is, they're doing top-notch development, and they've been doing it for decades and decades. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about places like the Builders District or Exarban Village, or if you're talking about buildings. Ever been to the HDR headquarters building? That's a Noddle Company's project. At any rate, good team, and under the great leadership of our good friend Jay Noddle, who is also a very good community steward, making good things happen in our area. So, trying to think about what was going to be the Noddle Company's report for today, pretty easy. Because back on Monday, Noddle Companies were part of a press conference along with Nebraska Medicine and the city of Gretna to announce a 125,000 square foot, 3-story major health center, Nebraska Medicine Health Center, that will be in part of the Gretna Landing development. Gretna Landing is northwest of 192nd and Highway 370 in Gretna, which means that it is just west of the world's greatest Hy-Vee and amusement park in that area.
Largest, anyway.
A lot of retailers and that along 370. This will be set further back to the north. And this 125,000 square foot medical building will be part of a 31-acre mixed-use development that Noddle Companies is doing within Gretna Landing.
So this is the area where Fleet Farm, who's been flirting with Omaha, they own 2 sites, one on West Maple and about 183rd, and one here. But it sounds like they're not doing their projects. Excuse me. And it's anyone's guess what's going there. I'm told that there's somebody that has it under contract on West Maple, but I don't know who it is. And I'm guessing it would be a place for like a Target or something like that at 192nd and 370, but time will tell.
And there's your Noddle Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. You can learn more about Noddle Companies by going easily enough to noddlecompanies.com. Well, we are talking with Jay Lund today. He is head of Greenslate Development. We talked about his project, their project, The Catalyst, on UNMC's Edge District campus. But we want to go a little bit further east, Jay. Earlier this spring, we announced a project that you guys are undertaking to redevelop the former WOWT television space into a 5-story building. Well, now that old TV station is being demolished.
Yeah, right now. So if you drive
cool
by,
is
it's the building's about half down. So kind of fun to see that. Little fun fact there. There was a historic mural, mosaic tile from WW, same as the one down at the Peregrine Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And we were able to save a little bit of it physically, but we did get a full high-resolution scan of that mural, and we're going to reproduce that inside of the new complex. So we're excited about that.
Now, you're running this project by yourself, right?
Yeah, just me. Yep. Nobody else is helping.
Well, you're a pretty self-reliant guy. So when the TV studio is down and gone, because WWT moved just to the west to part of the Blackstone Plaza building, what are you going to build there? What's it going to look like? What's it going to be called? And what will happen inside it?
Yeah, we did a press release. When was that? You were there, Jeff. It's a 5-story building. It's 185 apartments. It's a podium-style building. So it's which means it's garage, and then you have 4 stories of apartments above. It's going to have a swimming pool, highly amenitized, Class A.
Is the pool on top?
The pool is in the back.
Okay.
So closer to Harney Street.
It's a U-shaped building, and the pool would be on the south side.
It's amazing how you guys can build this stuff on smaller lots, but this one, is this a couple acres or
this
is it
is
smaller?
more land than really I think we've ever had to build except for Catalyst, which already had a building on it. It's an acre and a half of land. It goes all the way from Farnham to Harney, and for Blackstone or for anything we've ever done in that area, that's about almost double what we've ever had.
You're not used to the luxury of space in Blackstone.
Yeah,
District.
it almost feels like a suburban project to us.
Now, when you say podium with above ground parking, but it's below it's open on the sides. But do you go down for a basin parking as well?
Well, the way that the grade kind of works there is Farnham is lower than Harney, so it kind of provides sort of like a natural place for the garage to live, sort of half underground.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
So, Jay, this building, this 5-story building, just east of the Blackstone Plaza Tower, will be on the streetcar line, and you've played a big role in getting the streetcar off the ground. And maybe talk to us a little bit about how that streetcar had an impact on you guys deciding to build this building and what you see happening in that area once it's open.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to believe when I started Modern Streetcar Advocates. That was all the way back in 2017. So I can't believe it's been.
I thought it was longer actually.
It's felt longer. So it's been a long journey, talking about the benefits of the project, and it still elicits a lot of emotional responses when you bring it up, really in any room. But the project is happening, and the construction. If you haven't been down there, it's very apparent that it's going on, and everybody knows that I'm a big advocate, and I see the benefit. It really comes down to density.
And give us I know it could go for an hour, but give us a 2 or 3 minute explanation of why that's so important. And it's not just for ridership. Give us why you're such a proponent of the streetcar.
Well, it's hard to synthesize, really, but I think if you wanted me to boil it down, it comes down to density, and it's the permanency of the rail. That some people will say, people have said in the past, well, that's what makes it bad. And I would argue as a real estate developer, that's exactly what makes it great, because those rails can't move.
And when he says density, ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about more people there, both at night and during the day, and going vertical, which doesn't tax the infrastructure like roads, fire, schools. So it just keeps more people in that area.
Yeah, and it's land use. And so I think when anyone travels to great cities, it seems like they always come back and they say, I walked everywhere. I loved it. You could walk everywhere, right?
Boston, yeah.
Yeah, you go to New York, you go to Chicago, you say, gosh, it was so fun. All we did is we walked everywhere. So that's what people want. And really, it comes down to land use. So if you were to walk the streetcar route today and literally physically walk the route from 40th Street all the way downtown, and when you're on foot, you're going to notice, at least from a real estate developer point of view, but I think really anyone could say, gosh, there's a lot of wasted land on this corridor, and it's really these old parking lots that were in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all these buildings just got torn down and turned into parking lots. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to turn parking lots that are used a fraction of the time back into buildings that are vibrant, paying taxes, and create the community, walkable community that everybody wants.
Yeah, and it already off to a great start. It'll only get better. And you're so right. When people travel, they love those walkable districts. No one goes to a big city on vacation and comes home and said, "I saw the best super Target in a Cleveland suburb I've ever seen in my life." They care about the urban areas. And with that, Jay, when you look at the Blackstone district, which has been your baby, what's next for it in terms of building? I mean, what types of projects might we see in the Blackstone in the coming years?
And what's it missing?
Well, I think that the building that we just brought on, another large project that came on at the same time as Catalyst, really, which is funny how long these things take, is 37 West Farnham. And so that's another public-private partnership that has a parking garage that works in conjunction with the streetcar.
And Flagship has a new...
And Flagship, if you haven't seen it, they just opened the other day. It's a very cool space called Revival House. It's a tiki bar, super fun. Has garage doors on the front, so it feels very open and big city. Blackstone proper, if you kind of think about it, is really about 35th to 41st, and it's mostly built. There's a couple little lots here and there, but the big opportunity and kind of quote Blackstone or Midtown is the Mutual of Omaha campus. And I think when they move into their new tower, that's going to open up a lot of acreage of again, you're looking at empty parking lots and what could this land be, and I think we all know there's a higher and better use.
Well, Jay Lund, we appreciate you joining us today and giving us an update on the Catalyst and Midtown issues in general. And kudos to you and your colleagues for all the good work you're doing in Midtown.
Thanks a lot for having me. Love what you guys do. Love your weekly email. I get excited to read it every.
You hear
every
that,
time it comes.
ladies and gentlemen? Jay Lund approved.
All right. Well,
go to growomaha.com and sign up for the newsletter. It's free.
All right, Jay, thank you so much. That's Jay Lund, Greenslate Development, going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, it'll be the Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center Cheer Athletics and the aforementioned Perkins Kreitzer Construction on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Tired of walking into a
Here, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
This is John Lund.
You're calling him?
On speaker. My speakerphone sucks, but let's... Hey, John. Can you believe what your son just said about your project?
I'm trying to listen to your show.
You're not, because it's on break.
Oh, you're on break. Oh.
Yeah, but we're recording this for posterity. Did you hear him take all the credit for your new project?
Well, he does have the right last name, and he should take all the credit.
When are you coming on the show?
I can't. I sold the company only just so I could get on the show. And now I can't get on after I sold the company, so I'm not sure if Fisher will let me buy it.
I'm probably going to have Rich Secor on, because he's my neighbor and we share a mailbox.
Yeah, Rich is excited. He puts his way to sleep, that's for sure.
We're going to have Nico on, too.
I wish Jay would have hit you in the left eye and you would have had a permanent black eye. He said, can I hit him? I said, when he does it the third time, yes. He only did it twice.
You're just jealous.
He was just admiring my beautiful head of hair, that's all, looking back. I misunderstood the situation.
I'm trying to listen to this show right now. How can I listen to it when you guys are calling me?
KFAB.com.
Don't forget to mention everybody in the whole
You use your burner phone.
See ya.
Hey, John?
Yes,
You got to go.
I have to go.
With friends like Trent.
Not to wear out my welcome here, and it probably doesn't have to be me, but would love to get on calendar at some point in the next year, I don't know how far, and do the ULI.
Sorry.
No. It's a whole
we'll do that
segment.
In fact, I looked at it in the end, and we were getting so tight. I'm like,
No,
if I can
it
bring
would
it
have
up,
been long.
Yes.
Yeah, we're 3 years in. We're up to 150 members. We have an event every single month.
What's it cost?
You join nationally, and it depends what level. You know, if you're a student or government, it's pretty cheap. It's like
I should write join since I'm now a member of commercial real estate women.
Yeah.
Crew.
655.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
You have till
Yeah,
57.
but just
Okay.
plant that bug in your ear.
Here we go.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks, man. Good job.
Thanks for having me.
You get more
Appreciate
water
it.
if you
Yep.
want.
Okay. Appreciate it. Yep. See ya.
Thank you. It's your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a super short period of time. It is brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They are a top-notch Class A general contractor serving the entire metro area and beyond. Eastern Nebraska, central Nebraska, a lot of western Iowa, wherever. They just do a fantastic job. And you could use them to build out an office space. You could build out retail space in a shopping center, or you could have them build the entire office building or the entire shopping center. They do it all. Dave Kreitzer is the lead over there. And we talk to Dave regularly. He keeps us up to date with some of the cool projects they're doing, and Dave's got a great team. So if you're looking for a company to help you with your next construction process, you just need Perkins Kreitzer Construction. Website is p-cconstruction.com. All right, Trent, a lot of things to talk about. Another hotel is coming to the Mid-America Center Entertainment District in Council Bluffs. It'll be on a 2.25-acre undeveloped site next to Quaker Steak and Lube restaurant. It'll be an Echo Suites extended stay by Wyndham. 4 stories, 124 rooms. Start construction by the end of this year. Completion in about a year and a half.
Excuse me, that's right next to the Tesla.
Yes.
Repair center.
The recently opened Tesla, yeah. Revival House, our guest Jay Lund mentioned that. It's part of that 37 West Farnham building. The exact address is 3737 Farnham Street, Blackstone District, part of Omaha-based Flagship Group. They opened on the 26th, so 2 days ago. The menu draws from the lost art of exotic drinking culture with a rebellious twist. I don't know what that is.
Omaha's got a fine drinking culture.
But it's pretty cool. And I popped in and saw it. They had a kind of a media preview thing. I didn't have a drink. It was a little early in the day for me, but I would love to come back and give it a try. They have one existing location of Revival House in Des Moines, Iowa. Meadowlark Lounge, an upscale neighborhood dive bar. Upscale.
Yeah, no, that's an oxymoron.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. It's opening soon in a former VFW building, 33rd and Leavenworth Street, just west of the historic Alderman's Bar. And that's coming soon. I was in that area after we received this brief from our restaurant reporter, Nicole. And so I popped my head. I couldn't. I looked through the window because the door was locked, and it looks like it's coming along. Holy Grounds Coffee House and Gifts plans to open this August in a brand new building, 194th and Harrison Street. The interior build-out is underway. Coffee shop and a gift shop that will serve religious goods. This building, so many people have asked, what's going in there? And we were having a hard time figuring that out. We now know. It is Holy Grounds Coffee House and Gifts. Taqueria El Rey has opened at 4161 South 84th Street in a former Wendy's fast food building. The original Taqueria El Rey is at 24th and Q in South O. They also have a bunch of food trucks around town. Little Caesars opening at 59th and Ames Street. Construction interior build out on that store will start pretty soon. Here's another taqueria. It is Anthony's Taqueria. It is in Blair. And it will open soon on 20th Street up in Blair in a former Jimmy John's location. A farmer's co-op has leased 2,500 square feet of space at 5018 Underwood Avenue, just in the shadow of the KFAB Penthouse studio. And this is it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a seasonal concept that will showcase fresh local produce in the summer and transform into a Christmas market in the winter.
Do you remember Tomato?
I remember the name.
So it was at 156, kind of in a flex space, and they did that as well. And they used to have Carolyn's Cheesecake there, which is awesome, which you can get at like Spezia and a couple other places now.
Our colleague Eric Wiesler from NAI NP Dodge handled the lease of that farmers co-op. Westlake Ace Hardware will move later this summer from 8425 West Center Road to 3401 South 84th Street in Westgate Plaza. They'll occupy what used to be Tom Kelly's Bowling Pro Shop and a bakery and a barber shop. So on the north side of Westgate Plaza. Until that happens, the new location will continue to serve customers at 84th and Center. And then the Omaha Public Library has chosen Zen Coffee as the official in-house cafe partner at the future Central Library, set to open next spring at 72nd and Dodge. Trenton, that building is getting close to completion.
It looks good. I just hope the birds stay away from those perches.
I hope they've thought about that. We have 2 closings to share with you. We don't like to do it, but we figure we've got to. The first one is Village Inn has permanently closed its restaurant at 3809 Twin Creek Drive in Bellevue. The other Bellevue location stays open, as well as locations in Omaha and Papillion. And then El Vallarta Mexican Restaurant at 124th and West Center Road in Westwood Plaza is closing on July 2nd. Their locations in Blair, Gretna, and La Vista will remain open. And we also have a little bit of news about daycare and preschool buildings. There have been a lot of these upscale.
Oh my gosh, with drive-throughs and porticos.
Yeah, a lot of these upscale ones. Another one under construction in the Coventry development near 204th and Q. All right, the music is playing, which means that it's time for us to give up the microphone for someone else. But we hope you have a great week. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Hey, good show.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.